You know, it's a great question because a lot of people associate Huawei with the smartphones that we developed, such as the Mate 9, which was launched in the US in January, and most recently the P10, launched at Mobile World Congress in March. But Huawei entered the smartphone market just 5.5 years ago, and for the first 25 years, this is a 30-year-old company, it had been building the network infrastructure for countries around the world. So Huawei is in 170 countries, and most of the time when people think of the company, they think of it as a smartphone maker, but instead they should be thinking about how that signal gets there and what is all of the network and equipment required to build telephone and internet networks around the world. And that's Huawei's core business. Today, it has 3 business units. Our carrier business, which looks after our telco clients around the world. Our enterprise business, which helps companies deal with all of their information and communication. And then finally, of course, the consumer business, which everyone knows through our very elegant and sophisticated smartphones. Actually, Huawei is one of the largest employee-owned companies in the world. If you Google search Financial Times Huawei shares, you'll see an article about 2 years ago from the FT, or the Financial Times, where they took a detailed look at our share registry. And what you'll see is this company is actually owned by its employees. Of our 180,000 employees worldwide, about 85,000 are actual share owners in the company. The single largest shareholder is our founder, Mr. Ren, and he owns less than 1.3% of the company. So this creates a culture of hard-driving, dedicated employees who are working for their company. And that really is one of the secrets of the success of Huawei worldwide. We have had quite a few bankers who have sought to take Huawei public, but unfortunately when you have 80,000 plus shareholders, that's not going to happen anytime soon. So it continues as an employee-owned and employee-focused company in worldwide. Okay, 2017 is actually the 30th anniversary of Huawei. It was founded in southern China, in Shenzhen, in 1987, largely as a PABX reseller. And the markets that were available to Huawei at that time as a private company were out in the further regions of China. And so the company built itself up installing telephony systems into the most remote regions of China. So its first decade was really a China company. Its second decade expanded into some of the developing countries around the world, and in the last decade has really expanded into the developed world, such as Germany, Britain, all throughout Europe. So it's a 30-year-old company. It entered the smartphone market about 5 years ago, but for the entire 30 years, it really has been a leader in telecommunications. And I think finally the most important point about Huawei's history is it sets it up perfectly for the future, because what Huawei provides is all of the backbone of the internet and telecommunications. And one of the leading financial analysts said that the market for Huawei's products and services is infinite. Very good question, because Huawei recognizes that we can't achieve the successes we need to alone, and therefore everything Huawei does is based on open systems, open source. We work as members with a number of alliances and industry associations, and we work very closely with developers. Our founder, Mr. Ren, has a strong belief that Huawei doesn't want to take a bigger slice of the cake. What we want to do is make the cake bigger. So a great example of that is cloud, where we're moving and migrating more of our information to the cloud to make it available to us whenever and wherever we need it on whatever systems we're working with. And conquering cloud is much bigger than any one company can achieve on its own. So therefore, we partner with quite a large number of companies and associations, many of whom you would have heard of, and others which might not be as well known to you. We have 15 research and development centers around the world and 21 joint innovation centers that we've developed in countries as far-flung as India, Germany. We have our design center in Paris, and all of these are open to our industry partners to make sure that we're developing the best solutions together. Huawei's business strategy is focused on the pipe. We all know we're using our devices more, but we also have to understand that governments are relying more on shared data. Hospitals and healthcare are relying more on being able to instantly access information, public security, you name it. So we're seeing a rapid growth in the need for computing power as well as the need for sharing. So first and foremost, Huawei has a cloud strategy that it's unveiled recently in terms of the future of cloud, both for the public cloud, private cloud, and partnering with our carrier partners to help them implement cloud services within each of their countries that they operate. But as a consumer, personally, I'm very excited about 5G. 5G is the latest technology for your smart devices. And we have field trials underway today in Japan where we're demonstrating and achieving download speeds of 21 gigabytes per second. So that's the equivalent of every episode of Game of Thrones ever in 1 second on your phone immediately. And then you think about that when it comes to augmented reality or virtual reality or instant streaming or being able to live cast this from your phone anywhere in the world because you've got 5G. So I'm personally looking forward to that, as that creates a much bigger pipe for more data, and it will allow us to do even more going forward.